Hello! In today's video, we're going to be making coffee popping boba. Now, this idea was voted on by you guys over on Instagram. It was either pizza-shaped boba or coffee popping boba, and coffee popping boba did win this time. But don't worry, pizza may have another chance in the future. Let's dive into the recipe. Now here's a list of ingredients that you will need to make this. What's really important is that the cold brew coffee that you pick out cannot have any calcium in it, so check the nutrition facts and make sure it says calcium has 0 milligrams, otherwise this will not work. Now let's get started by measuring out 1 cup of our coffee. Next, we're going to be adding in sodium alginate. Now if you need help finding this, I do have some in the description below. We're going to add about 1/4 teaspoon of this. It doesn't take much. Then we're going to blend it up really well. Now this may take some time. I don't recommend hand blending it because it will take forever. I think I was blending this for about 5 to 10 minutes and it got really bubbly as I was working. That's totally fine, you just need to make sure the bubbles settle. We'll make sure this happens by letting it sit in the fridge for a few hours, preferably overnight so that all the bubbles disappear. Next, we're going to be making our calcium bath. First, we're going to add 2 cups of distilled water, and yes, it must be distilled. Then we're going to add in calcium chloride, again you can find in the description below. 2 tablespoons of this and blend it in until it's completely clear. This is what we'll be dropping our coffee mixture into to form the popping boba. Now how this is going to work is we're going to take this coffee mixture, you can see how all the bubbles settled. The alginate in this mixture is going to react with the calcium in the bath to form the shell of the popping boba. The longer you leave it in, the thicker the shell gets. Now I have 2 bowls here. I have the calcium bath, but I also have an extra bowl of just distilled water to rinse off my popping boba. I'm going to use this turkey baster to drop in the coffee mixture to hopefully get some bigger bubbles. Now let's fill the turkey baster with our coffee alginate solution and practice dropping a couple of droplets. It can be harder than it looks. Now that I have a little bit of practice, I move over to my calcium bath and start dropping them in. Now this first batch was a little bit too small, but I'll end up working on that a bit later. Here's a side view of what they look like as I drop them in. Now you don't want to leave them in there too long or they're not really going to pop anymore. So I recommend taking them out quite quickly and just throwing them into your plain water bath. Now again, my first batch was way too small so that even the slotted spoon wasn't enough. I used an egg yolk separator to try and get them out. You can use a strainer or a tea strainer also works really well in getting them out if they're too small. I realized this, so I tried to make them a little bigger by squeezing out more liquid suddenly. This took a lot of practice. Again, be patient with yourself. They're not all gonna be perfect. Some of them had little tails and it's fine. They don't have to be perfect. They'll look great regardless, I promise you. Now, you might not want to do as many as I did at a time. Mine got too thick of a shell and they weren't perfect. I would do a few, take them out, or if you have someone helping you, even better, have them take them out as you're doing them. The thinner the shell, the more they're gonna pop. Do this until you run out of your coffee solution. This may take a while. This is obviously very sped up. Now that I'm done, I'm gonna push this aside and take a look at my pearls. We want to test the consistency. Now, I really just want to take a second and appreciate how amazing these look. They really took on that coffee color and I'm so excited. We're gonna fish them out of the plain water bath and let's test to see if they truly do pop. Did you see that? I'll slow it down for you. Now, if you want a bigger pop, leave these in the solution for a little bit less time so they don't have as much of a shell. You can take this and either top it on some ice cream, but for me, I decided to add it to my iced coffee. Now, funny enough, they were actually floating on the top instead of sinking to the bottom, but it was totally fine. I was able to sip them up as I drank my iced coffee. What would you use these for? Let me know in the comments below. Now, if you made it this far, you're probably a huge fan of boba. I recommend you check out some of our other boba videos. We got some really cool, unique ones. Also, if you wouldn't mind, subscribe to our channel. Thanks. Bye.